News of the retirement of Justice Kennedy sending Washington aflame, particularly progressives now who say they're going to pull out all the stops to try to stop President Trump from picking the successor. Of course, this means we're set up for a big-time Donnybrook. We brought in two of our best legal minds to discuss it here. Harmeet, Dhillon, Republican strategist, trial lawyer in the flesh. Great to have you in the studio. And Rick Unger is back with us as well. Harmeet, it's so interesting because one of the first tweets I saw this morning says, thanks to all of you who encouraged me to consider filibuster reform. It had to be done. November 21st, 2013, Senator Harry Reid.
That's right. Mitch McConnell has been saying, I told you so. Yeah. And we were saying that back then. But, I mean, this is actually the right way it should be. And the president should be able to confirm his pick. And, the fact about the drama that's going on right now, Republicans have been seeing that all the way back since the Kennedy nomination originally, which should have been Robert Bork. We weren't prepared for that personal attack at that time, but we are now.
Rick?
Karma is a you-know-what. There's no getting around it. This does track back to Harry Reid. I'm happy to say I opposed it then. I oppose it now. We should still have the filibuster, but I can't blame anybody else. It was the Democrats.
So are the Democrats going to be able to stop this? Or it feels like so far the rally point is abortion, and we're hearing some really, scary things out there in terms of they're laying it on pretty thick already.
They can lay it on thick, but at the end of the day, it's going to be very hard. I actually spent a little time trying to go through parliamentary rules to see if there were any tricks. I don't think that there are. The only thing that I can see happening, first of all, you got some senators to consider. You've got all of those senators running in red states that are Democrats. They are pacing the floor right now.
That's right.
And then you've got some Republican senators. You know who they are, Murkowski, Collins, sure. That you don't know what they're going to do. It'll be very weird. But probably the only tactic available is to basically screw up everything in the Senate, which Democrats might be able to do. Screw up everything in order to try and slow it down.
Delay it
exactly,
to the midterm elections.
I don't know if it'll work.
So, Harmeet, names are being tossed out there. Some of the curricula, some of the criteria, rather. Youngish, 50, maybe under, strict constitutionalist. Is that the right idea for you? And is there a name that already jumps out for you?
Well, I think the president has already gone through this drill once before very successfully with Neil Gorsuch, and it's pretty much the same list of people. They're highly impeccable jurists with great track records. Amy Barrett would be a great one. Brett Kavanaugh. Even Mike Lee has been thrown out there as a potential wild card. But if he picks from that stable of vetted, conservative, traditionalist jurists, I think that I don't know what the Democrats are going to do. He has the right to nominate his person, and none of those people have skeletons. And so I think we're looking at one more Gorsuch, hopefully.
Yeah. I heard Judge Janine Pirro has it all wrapped up.
Yeah,
that's the word on the street.
Maybe not, but I will say, I will also say another offshoot of this is that Democrats now are really, really railing against our constitutional system, right? They're saying, hey, President Trump won the same amount of votes as, there have been 4 or 5 Democrats who've had the same percentage amount of total votes. We need to ditch the system. It feels like the Democrats are ready to attack the Constitution and just the structure as a way of saying, because really, ultimately, it could be a 6-3 court. 7-2 court?
It could be.
Oh, it certainly could be. There's no question. I don't think that that's the case with most Democrats. I think where you're going to see upset with the Democrats is the McConnell rule, which isn't a rule that he applied and the Merrick Garland, he says in an election year, you shouldn't be doing it.
Presidential election year.
Actually did not say presidential.
But that's obvious.
I actually
Come
have
on,
the tweet.
that's obvious.
No, it's not.
It is totally obvious. Every year is an election year for Democrats.
Every year
it's always an election year.
Well, by the way,
for congressmen, it's always an election year.
By the way, I don't think that we should vary it because the Constitution never said in a presidential or any other election year. So what's going to happen this year is the way it should go. But there's a lot of resentment over the game that he played. It really was a smear on democracy, in my opinion. And I'm not going to say we should do it again because we shouldn't smear democracy.
Yeah, this is the smell in the air is a smell of desperation from the Democrats, and they're just flat-footed. They do not. On the one hand, you want filibuster. On the other hand, you don't want political realities to occur in the process.
They've been giving me a rap signal for so long.
I just want to know
because this is the nicer, gentler Harmeet. Usually when she's remote, she's she's a little tougher, but she's riding the wave of success right now. All right, we got to leave it there.